Oh, come on, son. Got it. It's episode 117 of Left Side Heavy, the podcast. We got the boys here. We got me and Hayden welcome our boy Ian back on the podcast. Ian McNaughton. How we doing, buddy?
We're doing good. Jevin, you'll appreciate this. So my friend from Alberta, from Edmonton, just pulled up today, and they got some World Juniors merch because they went to the World Juniors, but they went to the World Juniors in a winter before it got canceled. So they got me this World Juniors championship hat with the Russian flag right in the front panel here, which is really a great look in summer fall 2022.
Yeah, that's perfect. That's totally with the times.
Current.
Yeah.
Aggressive.
Very.
That is very aggressive. Jesus Christ.
Oh man. That's unbelievable. You can totally wear that at hockey events.
I can wear this out in public and people won't judge. No
shot. No chance. But how you doing? What have you been up to?
It's been a busy weekend. I was in America this weekend.
Fun.
Mm-hmm.
Went to some PLL, which was one of the most, I love the PLL people, really nice people. One of the most chaotic events I think I've ever gone to and covered personally. We got a big weekend ahead. It's a little bit of a surprise, but we got a big weekend ahead. And then next week we have the SYP Open, the Speak Your Piece Open here in Squamish.
Oh, fun.
There's just a lot happening. You know, when your life's just chaotic and you're just balancing things and it just seems never ending.
All the time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That's the mood. That's the vibe.
That's the vibe.
Non-stop.
Is your building on fire?
No, I don't think so. I think the people next door to me might have just burnt chicken.
Okay.
And that's why it smells like a bit of a burning type smell, and there's an alarm going off. But I think we're good. I think we're good.
Yeah, Hayden, before he got into the meeting, Ian's like, my fire alarm's going off and I smell smoke. So I'm gonna go check on that. And I'm like, yeah, you do that.
Yeah, that might be a good idea.
Yeah.
That's something I think that should be addressed before I do anything.
Yeah.
It's why is this alarm?
Before you sit down for about an hour.
Well, I hate to be that guy who ruins a podcast with a, smoke alarm going in the background, right? That seems avoidable.
I'll be honest, I think it's because you had your headphones in. I couldn't hear the fire alarm that was going off. So I think you might have been lucky. But
well, sometimes I have the gift of luck on me, and definitely not just the fact that I have good hearing and I can hear next door.
I mean, hey, when you got the good looks you got right now, you got all the luck in the world.
Oh, thank you.
Dudes.
Guys being dudes.
You really treat me well on this podcast. I always joke about how I have a face for radio. And I think I tweeted something this weekend about how nothing gets a cheap laugh more than when I tell somebody from Washington State that I'm born in Kirkland, so I'm a Costco kid. Nothing gets the second thing that also gets me a good cheap laugh is when I'm like, yeah, I'm in media, but I got a face for radio, and a voice for journalism.
Boom.
You gotta change your Twitter profile pic to just the egg, because you gotta go along with the bit,
I think I'm workshopping this take, but if the Leafs win the cup, I think Kyle Dubas will be my profile pick. I'll go back to the Kyle Dubas 2 phones profile pic.
Yeah, you have to. You have to bring that back.
Shout out my lookalike Kyle Dubas.
Yeah, shout out. Shout out. But speaking of World Juniors, Canada, they got the job done against Finland with an unreal McTavish save. Did you guys see that shit? How could you not? But that was the most unbelievable thing I've ever seen in international play, let alone just the World Juniors. That was unbelievable. Were you watching that game live, Ian?
I was not. I saw a replay after the game. I missed the entire game, unfortunately. But that was the most casual puck clearing I've ever seen in my entire life. Of just
Yeah.
dudes just standing there swinging at it. Like, let's just get this out of here.
Yeah.
Put it in the corner.
So nonchalant.
Yeah.
It's like I'm the captain of this team and I'm just gonna bat this out and save a goal.
As if it is
Casual.
3-on-3 overtime in the gold medal game. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, not a big deal. We'll just get this out of here.
Treating it like he's tipping pucks in practice.
Exactly.
Like, okay, bud. And then Ken Johnson, absolute filthy player, wins it for Canada in overtime. I'll be honest, I didn't catch much of this World Juniors. I think it was just because it was summertime and like we were golfing a lot and it was during the work day. I just didn't catch as much of it, which kind of sucked. But I don't know if it was the same for any of you guys.
Oh, I mean, it was the same for me, considering I was with you the whole time too.
Yeah.
I mean, it was weird for us here, like in Pacific time zone, where it's like, yeah, puck drop for Canada games is 3 p.m. It's like that's an odd time zone. You would think you would want Canada games at like 5 Pacific, 8 Eastern,
Yeah.
real prime time. But I mean, somebody thought that was a good idea. Yeah, I didn't watch a whole lot of it either. It's a weird time. It'll be, we'll all be watching it again, I'm sure, when it shows up at Christmas.
I mean, like I caught all the highlights I needed to. Like that Bedard, he had an absolute nasty tournament. So many highlight reel goals. Mason McTavish is just a player to look forward to. Scott's got a fucking hard on up in Squamish right now for that Mason McTavish kid.
Can confirm.
Can confirm Scott is hard.
Yeah.
Yes. You guys think I'm joking? Like, no, I'm like, I just spoke to him earlier today and we talked about Mason McTavish. Like, I'm not even kidding.
Yeah. No, Anaheim's looking good with that kid in their hands. Zegras, Drysdale, McTavish. They're looking good for the future.
Olin Zellweger. Don't forget about Olin Zellweger, my friend.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I can't forget about him. Can't forget about him, buddy. But no, that World Juniors was fun. Shout out to Finland for always playing a good tournament, and shout out to Sweden for never making it to the semifinals or the finals after going undefeated in round robin and then choking in the playoff rounds. Nice.
It's got to take skill to do that, no?
Yeah, they're like undefeated in the past like 6 tournaments. They're like, I swear, like 30-0 in round robin play, and then when it gets to quarters, semis, they just lose.
Classic.
Death taxes in Sweden not making the gold medal of the World Junior game, World Junior tournament.
Exactly. Or death taxes in Sweden going undefeated in round robin and losing in the quarterfinals.
That's more accurate.
Yeah, exactly. To like Czechia. It's like, okay.
Czechia or like, Finland. And it's just like, you guys surely have enough skill to beat these teams, no?
Or just a random loss like Slovakia when they're good every 6 years, Just like, and what made this World Juniors weird is that like every player was drafted,
more or less,
or like majority of them. Where usually you see a lot more players in the fish bowls or the cages because the draft hasn't happened yet. But since the draft has happened, and they go back and play. It's like, oh yeah, a lot of these players are wearing visors now because they were drafted like a month and a half ago. So it's always kind of a weird sight to see when you see a lot of visors on the ice as opposed to some cages and stuff.
It's also funny to see like, yeah, these kids are drafted, but then it's like they're still playing junior. You know what I mean? Kind of gives me like that baseball vibe to it where there's a draft mid-season just cause.
Yeah, that always threw me off with baseball because like obviously it's the end of college, so they need to be drafted prior to the start of the college season, but it overlaps with the pro season. So like the draft is in the middle of the MLB season or like the quarter mark. And it's like, this is just throwing me off. And like, that's from like is there a lottery in baseball or is it kind of like the NFL or it's just last place?
I believe it's the NFL. Same thing where like if you finish with the worst record, you have the first pick.
Okay. And that's from like the season before.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
No, they don't decide on like that would be awesome.
During mid-season.
The quarter mark. Who's the last place?
June 30th, where it's like, well, guys, looks like Kansas City is 25-45. Guess you're going to be picking first overall.
That'd be so fucking funny. A team just tanks midway through their season and then starts to like try and pick it up just to get like a good pick.
The Yankees are having the worst start in franchise history with this absolute prospect about to be drafted. The best prospect since Bryce Harper.
Yeah.
So weird that the Yankees are in last place right now.
2.5 months later, the Yankees have made the wild card, or they're
The
actually
world's-
like their third or some shit like that.
Yeah.
Spending $300 million to tank for the first 3 months of the year, and then come on, boys, let's get it together. We need to make the playoffs. We need that playoff revenue.
Judge just rattles off 60 homers in like a week, and it's like, okay, so this is what we're doing now. All right,
Fuck.
that makes sense. But yeah, World Juniors, Canada, 19-time gold medal winners at the World Juniors. Not a big deal.
Is that good?
I think it's all right. Ian, is
So
that
Canada?
Ian, is it
Canada's
good?
Canada's old enough to have a drink now, is what I'm hearing.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's go. I mean, in some areas, US, they're old enough to vote in the US, but
That's
can't have
true.
a beer
They're old
yet.
enough to gamble in the U.S.,
Just
but
can't
they
have
can't have a drink.
just can't go to a pub. Not quite yet.
You can do all these other adult things except have a drink. Canada.
You can buy a gun too.
But you can't have a beer. Make it make sense.
America.
Fuck
Fuck
yeah. Oh man. What a country. But staying in the world of hockey, big name free agent. Top 3 on the free agent board, maybe top 1 in some people's books. Nazem Kadri finally makes his decision and signs with the team that he once said he wants vetoed a trade to, the Calgary Flames. He signs a 7x7. Ian, I'll go to you first. What are your thoughts on this deal?
Well, I had this jersey out earlier for my Albertan friend, so I'm not bitter.
Oh,
No.
jeez.
Doesn't it? I think it's actually like a really good signing. Like I think even 7x7 is like fair for what we've seen for Kadri. But doesn't it kind of feel like it kind of feels like he's settled a little bit? Like I feel like he thought he was going to get 9 or 10, and then he's like, yeah, it's not out there. It's not happening like I thought it would. Now I'm going to go get $7 million a year and play for the Flames and have a chance to be a playoff, like be on a playoff team.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think that's a decent, that's a decent settle of just taking $7 million a year and going to play second line minutes on the Flames.
Yeah, I mean, because at this point, every team has kind of made depth signings and their biggest splash already. So there isn't really much money to be thrown around besides Calgary, who put money aside for Kachuk and Johnny Hockey, just made the Huberdeau signing of 10.5. And they're just like, we've made this decision with Huberdeau. We're not rebuilding because we just signed a 29-year-old to an 8-year contract. So like, I feel we just kind of have to push our chips in for the short term and then suffer in the long term. So I think that all right, we got the money. We have probably one of the best top 3 defense cores in the league. Tanev, Uyghur, Hannafin, Anderson, Shillington. Like they got a really deep defensive core. They got Markstrom, who was just nominated for the Vezina. Right. And they're like, I guess we just got to get our offense to as close to last year as it was. Cause I mean, like, it's hard to top that first line that they had last year. They had combined over like 300 points. Not sure if that's good or not, but they're like, we just got to get close. And Kadri is a huge step up from Backlund at 2C. So I think in terms of down the middle, Calgary is much deeper. They might not be as good, but I just think they might have even improved because of getting Uyghur as well. So I think the Kadri signing is good for the next 3 years, but it might hurt in the 4th to 7th year. But I think overall it was pretty good.
Yeah.
Hey, do
I
you have any
definitely-
input?
I was just gonna say I completely agree with you. I was gonna say around like the 4th or 5th year, no cap. Apparently Calgary doesn't have a cap either. But no, like I think this could be really interesting. It's gonna be really weird to see Nazem Kadri in a Flames uni. I don't know why, just kind of like you don't expect him to be on the Flames, and yeah, now he's gonna be number 2 centerman, pretty deep lineup with Calgary now, and yeah, like Ian said, it's kind of, or like you both said, I guess it's just kind of all in for Calgary.
Yeah. It's just I find it funny because when he was in Toronto, they were like, "Hey, would you be open to like going to Calgary?" And he said no. And then he got traded to Colorado, and the next thing you know, he signed with Calgary. I just find that funny. I don't know if it was because there was a situation in Calgary that he didn't like at the time, and now that's gone or fizzled over, or maybe didn't like the coach, and that's changed. So it's changed his mindset on Calgary. But I just find that funny how he vetoed a trade there, and the next thing you know, he's signing there like a couple years later.
And
That's
it
kind of why
works.
I agree with Ian too, because it's like the settling part where it's like, yeah, maybe he was looking for a little bit more, but then
Well-
Calgary was like, hey, we'll give you this, and it's like, well, that's $2-3 million more than any other team's offering me, so I'll
Yeah.
go there.
Yeah.
But I was gonna say that's what it works. Like he literally, like he did the right thing. That was the right move to veto that trade. He went to Colorado, he won a cup, and then he got the bag in Calgary. Like
Yep.
it's worked out well. Like at the time, he wasn't gonna make $7 million a year to be in Calgary. Now
No.
he's gonna make
No.
$7 million a year and go be in Calgary. Like
Yeah. He boosted
But-
his points in one of the best teams we've seen in the last decade. And then, yeah, like you said, he's just like, yeah, I'm just gonna go get my payday. And yeah, he was probably looking close to 9, between 9 and 10, but maybe the teams just weren't valuing him like that, and he just kind of waited till the next best option. Saw what Calgary did with the Goudreau and Kachuk situation. They're like, oh, he's probably like, oh shit, they might have even just gotten a little bit better. They got Huberto, and now he's like, hey, yeah, I'll just kind of go rip it up with them. So I think it was kind of an overall well played situation. May have lost out on a couple $1,000,000, but $7 million is still like he got the stability, and he got a very comfortable annual salary. So I mean, he didn't really lose on a competitive team, nonetheless.
I was gonna say $7 million in Calgary. Like as a lifestyle, Calgary, I could think of worse places to live than Calgary.
Yeah,
Yeah,
And-
that's true.
And you're making $7 million a year. You're playing for a team that probably should be in the playoffs next. Like if they don't make the playoffs next year,
oh, it's a
that's-
flop.
That's
I-
a flaw.
huge.
Absolutely.
I think they're a top 3 minimum in the Pacific.
Yeah, absolutely. Like they should be
Yeah.
up there with, I don't know, Edmonton or Vegas. Like, is that who else we think is going to be really good in the Pacific
Yeah,
next? LA.
I mean,
like,
LA could be good. Vancouver could be good.
yeah.
I think the Pacific is going to take a 180-degree turn. They were like one of the worst divisions last year. They might be one of the better ones this year if every team
Yeah.
kind of plays up to their potential. So it's going to be very fun to watch like divisional games within like for Vancouver and stuff as a Canucks fan, and like Seattle even like they made some moves to be a bit more competitive. San Jose and Anaheim are kind of still in the lower ends of a rebuild or retool, so they won't be as exciting. But the other teams, man, this is gonna be a fucking one hell of a division to pay attention to.
And Calgary's gonna be like tough to play against.
Yeah,
next year.
100%.
Like you talk about it with the defense, like that decor. I think it's the best decor in hockey right now. And now all of a sudden, all right, you got a really skill. Like I don't know what the Flames lines are off the top of my head, but like you have Huberto, or Huberto Lindholm on your first line, say, and throw whoever else on it, Mangiapane, whoever on like the top line,
Yeah,
and then you could throw
that'd be an
Kadri.
unreal first line.
That's an unreal first line, and you throw Kadri in there, and Kadri's not fun to play against. You think people like going up against him? No.
Remember him on Toronto cross-checking DeBrusque in the face 8 times and getting suspended? Like,
Yeah.
he's not. He's a kind of a cheaper version of Marchand. He's a rat that can produce.
And then you have like Michael Backlund on the third line, who that's probably where he's best suited is being on the third line.
Yeah, he was
And-
not a second line player.
not a second line player. He gets to be on the third line. He gets to play a bit more of a checking defensive role that he's more suited to play. And I think that all in all, it all works well for the Flames. Like, this is a win-win-win, however you want to size it up, especially after losing Gaudreau and Tkachuk.
Yeah. It's weird that Calgary lost their two highest scoring players and got better in the offseason.
Yeah,
it's not often that you see that.
They got better as a team.
Yeah. Like, Mackenzie Weegar is one of the best even strength defensemen in the league. His plus minus is always unreal. And I know you take plus minus with a grain of salt, but it was still like at a level where, like, at this point, it's more than luck. Like, he's doing something right to have it this high.
It's a level you have to acknowledge.
Yeah, exactly. Like Hale McCarr, he was plus 48. And it's like, yeah, plus minus isn't everything, but when you're plus 48, you're doing something right on both ends, you know? And that's the same thing with Mackenzie Weegar, is that it was probably in like the 20s, near 30s. And it's like, at that point, you're just a really good defenseman and you're not just on a high scoring team. Right. And he didn't get a ton of special teams because Ekblad would take over the first unit. So they wouldn't need Weegar for the second unit. He wouldn't get a lot of points on the power play. He would get all of it even strength. So Weegar just made that defensive core even deeper. I don't think they're on the level of Colorado's quite yet, but I think they're top 3 in the league. But yeah, I think it's weird seeing Calgary lose Gaudreau and Tkachuk and just get better. It's like, that shouldn't happen. But I mean, yeah, because like they don't have the flashy defenseman. They have the stable, we're going to do our job at the defensive end first and then see what we can produce on offense.
They have the workhorses. That's what those guys have. The Flames have the guys who will put in work.
Yeah.
Like, who will grind and who will do the right things. Do the things that Daryl Sutter wants them to do. So you can't ask for much more than that when you're acquiring defensemen for, like, you're acquiring guys who will do the things that the coach wants you to do. It should go well. I don't know if they'll win the Pacific, but it should go well. It should at least lead to a playoff appearance.
Yeah. And they also got addition by subtraction with Goodbranson going to Columbus.
That's true. I can't argue that.
So it's like they basically replaced Goodbranson with Weegar and got Huberdeau as well.
And I don't think Nikita Zadorov is back either.
I thought or did they trade him? I thought they signed him. I think they re-signed him.
That's awkward. No, the running joke I had during the playoffs. Oh, is he back? Yeah, that's too bad. The running joke I had with him is that the running joke I had with him is that Zadorov is just, Russian for Gaudreau, which is obviously not true whatsoever. Nowhere close. But
are we sure? Have we fact checked that?
Yeah.
Just for the sake of entertainment,
go to Google Translate.
I'll Google Translate
Gaudreau in Russian. Or
so yeah, it's not Zadorov, guys. It's not Zadorov. So yeah, that's Russian 101.
That's Russian 101. Welcome to the first class of Russian 101. With Ian McNaughton as your instructor.
Oh God, no.
No, but yeah, I'm interested to see how the Pacific plays out because, I mean, Edmonton, there might be in the running for Kane, Patrick, that is. They brought back Evander. They got just deeper all around. They got Campbell as well. And then Vegas, everything kind of like they're just in shambles. They lost Leonard for the entire season with hip surgery. So, like, it'll be interesting to see if they trade for, like, a Varlamov or a Mackenzie Blackwood or something. Like, something around there. Or it's just, like, maybe trade for, like, a Vanacek. Like, I don't know what they could do. I mean, Vanacek just went to New Jersey, right? So, yeah, maybe, like, trade for Mackenzie Blackwood or something. Like, I don't know what Vegas is going to do. Calgary just did this. LA got Fiala, and they're just going to get better. Canucks should have a bounce back season, but what will happen with JT Miller? Like this season is going to be very interesting with all the player movement.
Can I just say, as someone who loves chaos, wouldn't it be hilarious if they have like a Battle of Alberta rematch in the playoffs and the Oilers win again? The Oilers, who I think you could make an argument either got worse or just stayed the same. I don't know that the Oilers really improved that much. I mean, Campbell depends on how you feel about Campbell.
They got
more
a stable in net. They got more stable in net.
But wouldn't it be funny if the Flames, who were all like pretty hyped on, we all really like, oh, these guys were winners. Like they made out well after the Gaudreau and Kachuk loss, and then they just lose to the Oilers again in the playoffs. I think that would just be really funny. I think that would be hilarious.
That would be unbelievable because it was Oilers in 5, right? They rallied off 4 straight wins.
Yeah. McDavid scoring the game winner in the Saddle Dome.
Oh man, that was just
fucking testicle kicking right there.
Yeah. I don't know what's worse, like losing as a Canucks fan, losing the cup final at home, or like that as a Battle of Alberta, because our rival with Boston wasn't as big until that playoff run. But Calgary, Alberta has always been something, and seeing the best player in the world score a series winner in your arena, that would just like I would cry after losing 4 straight. Like fuck, yeah, that'd be lights out for me. Night. Let's change sports, shall we? Deshaun Watson suspension has been changed to 11 games along with a $5 million fine. What does this mean? Hayden, I'll go to you first.
What does it mean?
What are your thoughts?
What does it mean? It means it wasn't fucking enough. That's what it means. Exactly what it means. Today I saw one of the most disgusting posters ever. It was a father and his son. He made his son hold up Free Watson while he held a sign that says "Fuck them hoes." And I'm like, what the fuck is happening in the world right now? Like, aside from football, because we all know Watson is a great player, but this is just like, you're not a great human. You're a terrible human being. And of course it's anything like the NFL to make his comeback game against the fucking Texans. Like, wow, can't wait to see the fucking views on this one, boys. Yeah, real classy from the whole just or the NFL as a product. Like, congratulations, you guys are like fucked.
It's all about revenue, and they thought they saw Browns versus Texans and been like, maybe 11 games would be enough.
Like, what the 11 games? I've never seen an odd number of games for a suspension. Like three maybe, but like 11?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, because like we said earlier in past episodes, like he was ruled not guilty, and he still came out and apologized for what he did and like how he made everyone feel. And it's like, as an innocent person, you never really like apologize for what you did when if you're innocent. You didn't do anything. And he was saying for like all the trauma he's caused with like this whole trial and stuff. And it's like, well, if you're innocent, you shouldn't have been put in this situation. You shouldn't have been put in this position anyways. I know nothing has technically been proven yet, but by the way you're kind of beating around the bush and you don't really have the morals to like be straight up and say like, yeah, he did say like he wouldn't do anything like that, but he's still like, I don't know, something just doesn't seem right with his apologies and everything. But Ian, I want to go to you because I want to hear your thoughts on it. Just with the whole suspension and how kind of everything played out.
Yeah, he should be suspended at least a year. Like, here's the problem is that I think we think too often we think about this from a team perspective of like, what's the actual football punishment here? And it's like, no, this guy did real life crimes.
Yeah.
This guy did real life trauma on people. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe the judge, the third party judge who was overviewing all of this,
Sue Robinson.
yes, I believe she used language like he had egregious and predatory behavior. You don't just throw around egregious and predatory behavior.
Yeah.
Like those aren't terms you just use lightly. Those aren't like, you just sprinkle that in. Like that's serious business. That's serious talk when you say that stuff.
Yeah.
And that's concerning. When you have somebody who is doing that sort of stuff, who is acting that sort of way, that's somebody you can't have in your facility, in your organization, and you can't prop up, you can't support. And the Cleveland Browns decided, we love this guy because he's a winner and we like to win.
Did you see, I think it was, I don't even know if it was the owner, like the GM, but did you see like that press conference that they held? And one of the journalists asked Deshaun about the cases, and the GM or the owner stopped him midway through, and he's like, let's just remember that Deshaun here is a 26-year-old great American football quarterback. And I'm like, what the fuck?
That didn't make you look any better.
No, and Good Morning Football's Kyle Brandt, I think it was, he roasted the shit out of him, like on television and
on the NFL Network.
Yeah, and I was like, honestly, like if everyone has the same view, or if a lot of these people have the same views, I hope they can create a bigger voice and make a bigger disruption, because like you said, Ian, we're forgetting the fact that this guy committed like a crime, like an actual crime. He should be in jail.
And like the initial suspension was only 6 games. It's like,
From Sue Robinson.
Yeah, he had predatory behavior, but we're only going to suspend him for less than half the season. It's like, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, freaking
like if this was any other person doing this sort of stuff, this person would have been in jail already.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But because it's a football player and because it's Deshaun Watson and he's one of the best, we have to, really stretch all of this out and really make, it's just like, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
Like,
and there's a reason why Cleveland is only paying him $1 million this year, because they anticipated a full year suspension because of what he did. If they were confident that he was innocent, they would have averaged out his salary over the 5 years that he signed for. They wouldn't give him $1 million and then average out $249 million over 4 years.
I don't know where I heard this from, but someone was like, you know what they should do? The NFL should just suspend him, because apparently the contract is a year this year. So they should just suspend him next year. That way he doesn't make his 40 some odd million dollars. And I was like, that would be fucking hilarious.
Kind of like the Alvin Kamara situation. Obviously, like not the whole actual situation, but like, and the salary wise, but they came out and said that there's a very good chance that he doesn't get disciplined this year. It's probably next year he's gonna get suspended. Do the same thing with Watson. Be like,
now a thing is coming out literally just like an hour ago. The person who represented the defendants for Deshaun Watson is now representing the defendant in the Alvin Kamara case as well. And he says that there should be immediate action. And I'm like, bro, you still got a whole fucking immediate action to take care of here.
Yeah. I'm really confused and kind of disappointed in the entire NFL, because like I was really, when they appealed the 6 games, I was like, all right, maybe like they're turning the good page in their book and like they're actually going to look at themselves in the mirror and be like, no, there needs to be more discipline. Like everyone was expecting a year when that appeal happened. But when I saw 11 games, I was like, come on.
And
like,
only $5 million.
Yeah, that's a drop in the bucket for a guy who just signed for $250 million guaranteed.
Yeah.
It's not like he signed for like $250 million and only like 120 of it's guaranteed, which is still he has 115 left. Like, no, I just think this was still handled poorly, and they missed 2 wide open layups with both chances of suspending him. And they still didn't get to what he should have gotten. He should have gotten a year minimum, or he should have just been suspended indefinitely until something was,
or until these cases have just they actually all close.
Yeah, suspended indefinitely. He's suspended until there's new updates in the investigation and until the NFL makes a firm decision on what from their decision made until whatever expiration date on a suspension. I think it was just handled poorly, but I mean, look forward to week 12, I guess, or week 13 or something like that. I don't know what week they're playing, but
week 12.
Did they not have a bye week 12? I'm pretty sure they have a bye week after week 11, I thought.
I'll check right now, but I thought it was just the consensus week, so I'll do week 12 NFL games, but keep going.
But Ian, you want to chime in?
I look forward to the Browns missing the playoffs and playing like ass this year because that team deserves it. That team deserves all the bad karma that it has going their way.
Yeah, like
I was gonna say that team had so much good mojo. Hayden and I were talking about this. Like when they had Baker Mayfield and they went to the playoffs and things were starting to at least feel a little bit different compared to how the Browns have always been historically. And then they just threw it all the way. They just crumpled it up, Kobe'd it into the trash can, they just got rid of it and they didn't want it anymore.
Just when everyone was on your side, you went and did this. Everyone was on the Browns bandwagon. Like when they got OBJ and Baker was going into year 2 after throwing 29 touchdowns. It's like, yo, we want you guys to do so well. And then you just traded your entire draft capital for a guy with 60 sexual assault allegations to his name. And it's like, come on, you were so close to getting back into relevancy, and then you're down deeper than you were before. Go back to Deshaun Kaiser and then maybe restart from there, because you got the wrong Deshaun under center right now. You know what I'm saying? And it's like when they had Deshaun Kaiser, it was like the start. As bad as he was, it was a start to the winning seasons they had with Baker, because I'm pretty sure Baker came in a year later and won them their first game. But man, I have no what's the word? Sympathy for any failure that they have in the near future, because it's like you guys just you fucked up and you fucked it, because that roster's so talented too. Yeah. But it's like
really good coaching staff. Really good coaching staff. Really talented roster from top to bottom.
And then you just did this. Deshaun Watson is a top 7 quarterback in the league. But that doesn't change the fact that you signed the type of person he is.
Yeah.
Right? No, it's 100%. Some things are bigger than the sport. And that right now is much bigger, and it's probably a really bad one.
Yeah.
So Hayden, do they play week 12?
No, they actually do play week 13. So
okay. I had a feeling that I saw that it was a bye week. So I'm pretty sure
it's
that's
their
so
12th game, but in week 13.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he'll be back for the bye week to practice, get ready. This league is set it up for that.
Yeah. And that's that. I think there's just an added little mixture and a slap in the fucking mouth when it's not like if it was suspended 10 games, it's like, okay, who are they playing? They're playing I think the week before, or I don't know who they're playing for their 10th game, but
Jacksonville.
Of course, they're fucking playing the team that he was traded from.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Is Goodell probably saw 6 games. Is no, we need his first game back to be against Houston, make it before the bye week. And then we'll just add a fine on top of the game.
Goodell was the one that wanted to make it 16 games. So I don't know. Obviously there's really no one that you can trust other than yourself in this world. But I saw many reports saying that Goodell wanted it 16 games. So whoever it is that made this to where it is now, man,
Yeah.
I don't even think the devil could do something this devious
Yeah.
and this sly.
Yeah. It was a very unfortunate notification that I saw when I only saw 11 games, but whatever. I just hope he doesn't light the league on fire when he gets back. I just hope he just gets picked off and like just shits the bed, and then the Browns realize what they did. But we'll kind of shift over to a little bit of a lighter note because someone has left their Masked Singer shootings and has rejoined the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at practice. Tom Brady is back. I had to write this note down specifically for the rumors themselves. The Masked Singer, is he a contestant in the is Nick Cannon going to be lifting up his mask in front of the judges in this next season for the Masked Singer? What are your boys' thoughts on the entire rumors of like, is it him and Giselle? Is like someone like, is someone in his family sick? Is he in the Masked Singer? It's like, bro, where did you get like what?
Apparently it's just family commitments that he made. He had like a vacation planned or something like that. But it was weird seeing reports of the Tampa Bay saying that he looked visibly distressed up until his absence. Like there was something on his mind. Either that or he just wasn't playing well enough. But it's like
He's deciding what song to audition with.
Fuck yeah, he couldn't decide between any Katy Perry song or Taylor Swift, huh? No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
But I don't know what music he listens to. It's weird that someone actually looked into this, and it's even weirder that it kind of like chronologically like
Makes sense.
made sense to a point.
Somebody had way too much time on their hands.
Yeah,
Somebody had
way
way
too much time.
How do you
Like,
go out? Yeah, like how do you think of that?
Yeah,
I hope I don't watch The Masked Singer. Like I don't watch it. I have no idea.
I don't either.
But I kind of want it to be true because I want like this one person to be like, holy shit, this theory that I just made up is actually come true. It actually happened. But
he's like, they found out real quick. Cancel it. I don't care. I'll pay the deposit.
I'm going back to practice.
Yeah.
Going back to training camp.
Fuck.
No, I just had to bring that up because that rumor was unbelievable. The Masked Singer. LOL. Baker. It's named starter for Carolina. Does this change anything? I just hope he has a outstanding week 1.
I hope he puts it to the fucking Browns week 1. Like if it's 40-0, run up that fucking score, man.
Yeah.
Run it up.
Keep throwing bombs downfield.
Oh yeah.
Like I want no mercy shown. And I don't think Baker is the type to show mercy.
No,
because
not with his bloodline from being like a Sooner.
Yeah. I just hope he does extremely well. I kind of had like a 90% feeling, that 95% feeling he'd be the starter because you don't like trade for a guy and then don't start him the following season, especially with the storyline of their first game being against his former team. It's just only right. Even if you start him for week 1 and then you go to Darnold for the rest of the season, I'm fine with. But if I swear to God, if I saw Darnold under center against Cleveland, I would have been so upset.
It's like, come on, guys. This is the best PR move that you could ever make. Just do it.
If you want ratings and actually people to tune into your dumb team, like your ugly team, Carolina, yes, I'm talking about you, then you start Baker week 1 and then people will watch.
Oh yeah.
Do we all have beef with Carolina?
No, I just don't think they're going to do good this year, but that's about it.
I was gonna say, like, before the Baker news, like I had paid no thought to Carolina this offseason, where it's just like, yeah, cool, they got Baker.
They're still paying for Teddy Bridgewater, who has moved to 2 different teams, so that's cool.
Is Sam Darnold the best backup in the NFL right now?
No. Andy Dalton, baby.
Brian Hoyer.
I would I would take Andy Dalton over so many like backup quarterbacks.
I would too.
Could I nominate Drew Lock and Geno Smith as 2
Both
backups?
backups, damn. You got 1A and 1B as your backup, eh?
I'd say maybe one of the 3 backups in Pittsburgh. You kind of got one up there.
Oh God.
Trubisky, Rudolph, and Pickett. 3 backups.
God, dude. Fuck's sakes.
I want to see Trubisky light it up this year. I
hope he does.
I want to see him do well. I don't think he'll do half bad, but like I don't think he's gonna be like top, like maybe like 20 to 32 if he starts. But I want to see him light it up. That's a good question though. Who is the best backup in the league?
God damn.
I think this is the question everyone wants to know.
I feel like you know what's really funny? You guys will appreciate this. So yesterday, Sunday, I was talking with my dad who was watching the Giants Bengals preseason game, and he was telling me how much he really liked Davis Webb. Like he's got Davis Webb stock.
Oh my God.
And
There's
I'm like,
a long-term investment there that's not even like a trust fund.
And I'm like, Dad, this is second team Giants offense again, second team Bengals defense. Let's tone it down a little bit. It's like, nah, I could really see the Davis Webb. Like,
dude, why are dads so cringe, man?
Guys. Josh Rosen. How could we forget about him?
20 out of 88 yards. Oh my God.
How would Tyler Huntley?
That's what I was thinking. Tyler Huntley.
Yeah, Tyler Huntley. Yeah.
I think he might be the best.
I think that's what our next draft will be. Is just like ranking the best backup.
Yeah, Hayden will play. Yeah, we'll play the 2 QB league, but we can only draft 2nd string and 3rd string quarterbacks.
Fuck off, man.
That's literally the literal point of the 2nd QB.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Oh, that's actually not bad. You have to draft that team's backup.
There has to be one backup. Yeah.
Any quarterback you draft, you have to so if you draft James Winston, you have to draft Andy Dalton as well.
Okay. That's
if you draft Justin Fields, you have to take Nathan Peterman.
But interceptions are positive points. He's gonna be your QB1, baby.
Dude. Fields gets injured like week 3, Nathan Peterman comes in, you're winning the league.
Yeah. That'd be unbelievable.
Fantasy, but it's the worse you do, the better you are.
It's like golf. It's like golf tournaments. Yeah. The lowest score wins. Did you guys see what happened to Kayvon Thibodeau against the Bengals?
Dude, that was sick.
Whoever did that should be put in jail with Deshaun Watson. That was a terrible block.
Like he saw him look like him or 81 and Thibodeau looked at each other and then he went right for his leg.
Yeah.
Thibodeau leaned in and he
nosedived and point of contact was at his knee and he's going down. Like,
absolutely fucking disgusting.
Yeah.
Acts right there.
He got a sprained MCL, so he might only be out maybe 4 weeks, maybe. I don't know how long a sprained MCL is, but ligaments aren't necessarily
4 to 5 is the timetable. Yeah.
Yeah. So ligaments aren't, especially knee injuries, and something you want to play around with.
Mm-hmm.
Bakhtiari. Aaron Rodgers got his boy back. He's off the PUP list. From knee injury. Matt Corral suffered a severe broken foot. Liz Frank injury, and his rookie season is potentially over. Probably over. Yeah. It said potentially ending his rookie season, but I think it's done.
Yeah.
But
R.I.P. Golden Corral.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
I mean, I would say he's 3rd string, but I mean Baker and Darnold are in his way, so and maybe PJ Walker. Is he still on the Panthers? Is he still a guy?
He will be now.
What an unbelievable QB room. Baker, Darnold, PJ Walker, and Matt Corral.
That's the second draft we have to do is best QB rooms in the NFL. Like you have to I think the Saints have to be up there. You got to think the Saints QB room has to be
No,
pretty...
man, not with Ian Book. That guy's stock just tears it down.
Yeah,
but Taysom Hill's stock brings it up, you see.
Yeah, but that also is tight end Taysom Hill now.
Patriots
will still come in for a quarterback draw.
Yeah.
It's a wildcat formation.
It literally is. Imagine your tight end taking a snap, boys. Woo!
Who's the Seahawks third string?
Quarterback or tight end?
Quarterback.
My boy Jacob Eason. I went to school with his sister.
Jacob Eason, yeah.
Oh, he
From
was
Lake,
on
from Lake Stevens, Washington, former Georgia Bulldog, former UW Husky. My mom bought jewelry off his mom, so Jacob and I are tight.
Let's go.
Damn. Get him on the pod, Ian.
Yeah, maybe. I could tell you. I don't know if his parents still live there, but I could tell you where he grew up. Like I could show you the house.
That's it. Ian knows exactly where the house,
Sweet.
where Jacob Eason lives. Let's go stalk him. Ask him for Seahawks tickets.
Weird flex, but okay.
Weird flex. Whatever. He was just on the Bron. He was drafted by the Colts, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and then he just signed as a free agent. Did he get released? Did he get traded?
Definitely.
I think
released.
I think he just got released and signed by the Seahawks.
Yeah, because my boy Sam Ellinger is the third string on the Colts. Second,
yeah.
Oh no, he was just doing horns up.
I think he's still second though. Like it's Matt Ryan and who?
It's Matt Ryan, and who cares? Because that's all what any. If Matt Ryan is not quarterback for the Colts, then
I mean Sam Ellinger is having one hell of a preseason, I must say.
So is Davis Webb, according to my father. That he should be starting.
No, but I think Sam Ellinger isn't anything more than a backup, and maybe like a Tyler Huntley type. He might be like he could maybe fill in and manage a game to potentially a win. But I love the way Ellinger plays. He just puts his shoulder down and runs through everyone, and then puts the horns up. And I just fucking love. He has the turf in the face mask. I just love it. I love it. I wanted the Patriots to draft him if we didn't take Mac Jones, but
he definitely feels like a Patriots type guy too.
I just hard nose. He'd be like the Taysom Hill of New England. Throw him on special teams as a gunner and just fucking run through people. I'd love it. But that's all I really got for notes. But I got some fun player props, and I want to see your guys' guesses and if it's going over or under that.
All right.
I got 4 here, and this is via DraftKings. So I don't know if you guys have paid attention to it. But don't cheat and be a bunch of cheaters. But
things right now as my screen comes up like
yeah. Davis Mills passing yards. What do we think the over under is at?
3,350 yards.
I was gonna say 3,000.
3,600.5. And I'm assuming
it was 300 off.
I'm assuming you're taking the under off by your guesses, but are you going over or under?
No, I'm taking the under.
I'm taking the under. Who's his wide receivers?
Brandon Cooks.
Brandon Cooks, probably the most the best forgettable wide receiver in the league.
Fact.
I think the problem with Brandon Cooks is that the best moment of his career, I should say best moment. That's the wrong way of putting it. The most memorable moment of his career when he got absolutely decked in the Super Bowl against the Eagles. Do you remember that hit?
Got injured.
Yeah.
Was it against the Patriots?
Malcolm Jenkins fucked
up. Yeah, Malcolm Jenkins absolutely crushed Brandon Cooks. Like Cooks was not looking, and Malcolm Jenkins just sent him into the ether.
Yeah.
Oh, I was thinking of Devin McCourty against Cooks in the Super Bowl against LA when the ball was floating into the end zone.
Yeah, he has bad times in the Super Bowl, man.
Yeah. And then Cooks didn't attack the ball. He just waited. McCourty just fucking pushed him into the field goal stanchion or something like that. Pretty close to it, at least. It's like, yo, this guy, man, just can't catch a break. But we going under 3,600.5?
Yes.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I'm gonna guess around 3,300, kind of like what Hayden said. Khalil Mack sacks.
8.5.
I'm gonna price this right this and say 9.
10.25.
Oh, okay. I was like, how the fuck do you get a 2? Oh, but half. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I think they're kind of playing it with maybe he doesn't get doubled as much with Joey Bosa on the line as well.
That's tough though.
So he might be freed up. It's hard to rely on that. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
I'm gonna play conservative and say the under.
Yeah. I think
Yeah.
10 and a half is a lot for his
And
age
I like
and
it.
stuff.
I like the Chargers. Like I think the Chargers are gonna be really good this year,
No,
especially
they-
that defensive line.
They have everything to be a Super Bowl winning team. It's just
so the
Brandon
Chargers.
Staley. It's just
Yeah.
something is gonna go wrong that they only win like 9 games. And it's like, come on.
If Khalil Mack is getting over 10.5 sacks, they're winning. Not winning. They'll at least be at the first seed. Like they'll be top seed in the AFC. Like that I think like best case scenario is over 10.5 sacks for Khalil Mack.
Yeah.
Agreed.
All right. This one is a little interesting. The Buffalo Bills' longest win streak.
Oh.
I'd have
Can
to
I
look
look
at
at
their
their
schedule.
schedule real quick?
Yeah.
That could be the telltale sign right there.
I saw this as an interesting prop on DraftKings. I'm like, this is a little funky here.
Yeah, I like that one actually. That one's pretty funny. Okay. Let's see this. After absolutely killing the Broncos, Jesus Christ.
I don't know why, but like just instinctively, I just have like 5 games as like what the 5.5 is what the prop would be at 5.5 games win streak.
I'm gonna say the longest one will be 6.5.
It's 5.5.
Oh,
I would go over.
My
would
guess
go
would
over
be
too.
over as well. I think they could be like 8-0 at one point, maybe, or like lose the first game and then go like 8-1 at one point.
I think their best opportunity with looking at their schedule right now, like if they beat the Ravens, they could beat the Steelers. And the toughest one would be the Chiefs. The Packers, I think they could beat the Packers. They could beat the Jets, the Vikings, the Browns, Lions, and Patriots and Jets. And then, yeah, honestly, the last half of the season, I would take the over on this.
They're also in like I'd say a good but not great division. Like they should beat all of those teams. Like they should go 6-0 in their division probably.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No offense,
maybe 5-1, split it with the Patriots.
Yeah, like that anything like 4-2 would kind of be disappointing in that division.
Yeah, wait till they play in Gillette in like fucking November, and it's just snowing.
It's
and they're
literally
just fucking
November and December, so
playing running the ball down their throat. Yo, that game that they won against Buffalo when they ran the ball, I was really hoping Mac Jones didn't throw at all.
that would
I
have been
think
so
he,
fucking
I think
funny.
he threw it 3 times.
3 times.
I think I had Mac Jones in one of my leagues last year, and I had to I was forced to start him for that game. And if that wasn't a summary for my fantasy football season last year, I don't know what was.
You're probably like, throw it, please, just be play action. No,
Anything, any point. Call a bootleg. Let him run.
Just do anything, please.
All right, last one. Jacksonville Jaguars division wins.
3.5.
Oh, that's what I was thinking. Yeah, 3.5. I'll say 4.5 to be different.
2.5.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Yeah.
maybe 2.5. Yeah, fuck. God damn. It's
You know
tough.
what? I'll take the over on that.
Yeah, because
3 wins.
Yo,
I think they
Tennessee
should-
is going to be ass this year, I think. I don't like Tennessee
I would
this
not be
year.
surprised if they. But no,
But
I
Derrick
actually.
Henry.
Yeah, I know, but like at least they had weapons to throw to, but they don't got shit. They got Treylon Burks, who has his fatigue isn't that well. Apparently he's playing good though, but they lost Julio.
Robert
lost-
Woods, though.
Yeah, I know, coming off an ACL though.
Apparently he's killing it in camp. I don't know.
I would rather have Trevor Lawrence and Ryan Tannehill as my quarterback. Just saying.
I
Oh.
I would agree just because Lawrence can run as well. I mean, Tannehill can run as well.
Tannehill can run. He has that little,
Tannehill
like,
can't. Tannehill can't make the throws that Lawrence can.
I like
Lawrence can
Lawrence's
make some-
Lawrence
upside.
can't make the throws that Lawrence can. He got
Yeah,
hit so many fucking times last year, man.
Okay, but listen, I'm not saying the Jags are going to be world beaters this year, but there's no Urban Meyer. And the team is like, there's no Urban Meyer. There's no Darryl Bevel, former Seahawks coordinator. The team might win like 4 or 5 games next year, and I wouldn't be surprised if they somehow sneak 3 of them in a division.
The only one I could see them beating twice is Houston. Like, they're gonna need to beat Houston twice to win.
Which I think they could, and then I think they can cap one off Tennessee. It's 3.
I could even see them beating. Listen, they beat Indianapolis last year.
Yo,
That
do you know what?
true?
Do you know what Tennessee's win total's at?
8.5.
10.
9.5. I'm taking that under.
It's just hard with Derrick Henry, man. Like, he can single-handedly win you a game.
Yeah, I know,
Also-
but he's been at like 400 touches the past 3 years. Like at some point, he has to fucking at least be worse.
But like, until it happens, I don't know. I think I gotta stick with the King.
Also, I think Vrabel like out coach, like he coaches more than the sum of his parts. Like somehow, like he finds a way. Tennessee was the first seed last year in the AFC.
Somehow. Yeah.
So like I don't know if Tennessee's that good again, but I do think they could be a wild card team and they could, still be competitive.
I don't think they're gonna make the playoffs this year.
Hot take.
I think the Colts are winning that division, and I think the AFC is too stacked for Tennessee to sneak into a wild card.
That I agree with. If they don't come first, they ain't making playoffs.
Who would you take, New England or Tennessee? Finish
New England.
higher.
New England. I like their coach and
Ooh.
quarterback more.
Man,
It's not a bad one, eh, Hayden? Not a bad one.
dude, that is so fucking tough. I know Ian just answered so quickly, but it's like the Bills have a threshold on the AFC East. Like, I don't want to say it as much as it pains me, but it's like Josh Allen easily top 2 quarterback, and I don't think he's number 2. Oh my God. Honestly, I still think I'd go with Tennessee. I don't know if Matty Ice has it in him anymore.
Who'd you take, Tannehill or Matty Ice? Ian?
Between them, I'd go Tannehill.
I think I go Matt Ryan.
You just really hate Tannehill, don't you?
Guys, he's like top, like maybe a top 20 quarterback.
I think Tannehill's top 20 for sure.
I think Tannehill's
Maybe.
top.
I think he's. Did we not watch him in the game against Cincinnati last year?
Okay, but we've seen. Okay, what about Aaron Rodgers versus San Fran? He didn't look like a top 2, top 5 quarterback.
Is Aaron Rodgers a top 5 quarterback? I mean,
Easily a top 5 quarterback. It's just, I don't know. I think really missing a week plays into some teams who, like, I know Green Bay's been there, but like Green Bay has a reputation. Tannehill doesn't. Tennessee doesn't have a reputation. Tennessee literally ran Derrick Henry to the AFC Championship and then lost.
Tennessee is like San Francisco with worse coaching. Like basically, like they just run the ball. They don't trust their maybe now San Francisco will trust their quarterback this year because they actually have one who, I mean, I don't know if he's going to be as turnover friendly as Jimmy was.
I just like San Francisco's team overall better than Tennessee.
It's the same scheme. It's the same idea of just like, hey, we're gonna run the ball 30 times. We'll only use our quarterback when we really have to.
Except their running backs are split between like 2 and 3 people, where Tennessee's is just, where's Derek?
And I just like San Francisco had Debo. They had Debo, Ayuk, Kittle. Like they had more weapons to spread the ball to.
That's definitely true, yeah.
And their defense was better than Tennessee's. Maybe not by a ton, but I still think they were better. But so I find it more understandable Rodgers losing to San Francisco in the playoffs than Tannehill losing to Cincinnati.
Cincinnati did go to the Super Bowl, though.
Yeah, I know,
49ers didn't.
but I think overall team, I think 49ers were I think it was more understandable to lose to San Francisco with their good playoff history than Tennessee, number 1 in the AFC, losing to Cincinnati.
That's fair.
But
Also,
in hindsight,
I want to also say this. I think we've seen the high of the Tannehill resurgence. Like, I think we've seen the peak of the Tannehill resurgence. I think
yeah.
I just, and again, kind of like you alluded to, Jevin, what are the weapons? I don't know what his weapons are.
Burks and Woods. So you got a kid with asthma and a guy coming off an ACL injury. So
yeah, that's not great.
And hey, Austin Hooper.
Yeah, that's not great. Like I just like to go back to circle back to all what we were talking about at the beginning. I do think the Jags can get 3 division wins because I think their division
I do too.
Can you can sneak in 3 division wins, and that's
I think they go over 2.5 as well.
Yeah,
that's where we'll wrap it up, boys. Ian, where can the people follow you?
You can check us out, the Speak Your Piece podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts. Subscribe to our YouTube channel where I post the full videos of our podcast. You could check out our website at www.speakyourpiece.com. Why do I need to do www? I've had too much to drink. Anyways, I'll have some articles this week because it's again a bit of a surprise, but big week ahead. And check us out where you listen to podcasts. You can find us on the internet. You can find us on YouTube. You can find our work anywhere.
Awesome. Hayden?
You can follow me at Hayden_Barton on Instagram and Twitter. And that's where I am.
You can follow the show at LeftSideHeavy_ on all social platforms. Head to the YouTube Left Side Heavy to watch full videos. Rate and review anywhere you get your podcast helps grow the show. Ian, thank you so much. We appreciate you coming on as always for a nice house clean episode. Next week, we start the NFL preview with
boom.
I believe we're starting off with the AFC preview first. I can't remember exactly.
AFC.
But we're starting off with one of the conferences next week with recurring guest Scott Onischak. Scott Oni. It'll be a great episode. Look forward to that. Thank you so much for listening, and we will see you next week. Peace.